Salutations once again, everyone. Tonight I'm going to be doing a review for the Power of the Primes Legends class Wave 3. And this wave consists of two new characters. We have Cindersaur and Outback. Both of these figures are remolds of older toys. Cindersaur is a remold of Power of the Primes Slash with a new head, and Outback is a remold of Titan's Return Brawn with a new head. So this won't be an overly long review. It's two small figures. But we'll just get a look at both of them, compare them to their mold mates, so you can decide which one you like more. And then, as usual, just kind of give some final thoughts. So we'll start with Cindersaur. And as I mentioned already, he is a retool of Power of the Primes Slash. And as such, he turns into a close approximation of a Velociraptor. Now, the original Cindersaur was a member of a Decepticon group called the Firecons, and they all turn into these fantastical monsters that their toys had like a cold spark gimmick as you ran them along the ground, so they kind of shot little sparks out of their mouths. And Cindersaur himself turned into this horned dragon lizard-like creature, and it looked completely different from the toy we have in front of us right now. And that's mainly due to budget constraints and all that. It's kind of the same reason Combiner Wars gave us a Huffer and Pipes that were just Optimus Prime with a new head slapped on. Definitely not the best representations of the characters. So Cindersaur in this form does have a decent amount of articulation. Legs move every which way on a ball joint in the hip. Hinge right there on the knee. Ankle doesn't really move. Arms move up and down at the shoulder. The head can move up and down, and the mouth can open and shut there. So kind of everything you'd expect from just a little Velociraptor toy. Stands pretty well. Does have some pretty unsightly undercarriage, which you can see right through it. Detracts from it a little bit. No, it doesn't want to stand back up. There you go. Cindersaur has this little hatch on his back there that opens up, and it's designed to fit a Prime Master inside. So we'll take a Prime Master, and in order to get them to fit inside, you have to bend their knees backwards. So it's one of those toys where you gotta inflict some pain on your Prime Master, get him to sit in there. The Battle Slash Duo does the same thing. Battle Trap Duo. But, from the side doesn't look too bad. Can't really tell that his knees are doing the flamingo there. And it looks pretty good. This skull grin Prime Master kind of matches the colors pretty well, so I like that. Here's Cindersaur next to Slash in their beast forms, just for comparison's sake. And one thing that you'll notice is that there's more variation in color in the Slash version of this. Cindersaur is pretty much just purple with some yellow highlights and a yellow tail, so not as much color going on. As far as which one has a better deco, I guess that depends on what you're looking for. This guy just screams like late 80s Decepticon with all those bright colors and his purple. But yeah, no physical differences between these two in this mode. So just both simple, both look nice. Right here, Cindersaur's robot mode. And at a quick glance, he just looks really good. He really, again, just exemplifies what a Decepticon looked like in that era. He's a lot less dorky looking than the original Cindersaur toy, which was just the dragon facing backwards with a head showing on his back. So, yeah, they're really ugly. But this guy, he's very sleek looking, very dynamic. Maintains, all the same good posability that the Raptor mode had, and then some, because it's got all these ball joints and stuff here. He's got... One thing I've never liked about this mold is the excessive amount of back kibble, especially these arms just sticking out. It does kind of ruin the sleek look that he has going on from the front. A little unsightly. But doesn't make me hate the toy by any means. I mentioned that he is a new head retool, and you can See the head there, which is based on his original head. Just to compare the head mold with Slash's, you can see they're completely different. A lot of people didn't even really pick that up when the pictures first came out of this guy. Kind of took some eagle-eyed fans to even notice that they were different. Because there are some similarities. The face structures are largely similar. They both have like a, visor eyes. But they're definitely different. Back of his head is also very hollow. Well, I guess hers is too. Here's a full body comparison, just so you can see which one you like more. I like Cindersaur's color layout a little bit better in this mode than I do Slash's. Especially here in like the abdominal region, just more of a break in the colors, which I like. Kind of got this gray going on, which you don't see a lot of on the toy. His shoulders are translucent plastic, just like Slash's are. You can see it right here, outside edge, and then the rest of it's just kind of painted over. Looks nice. Gives me concerns about this toy's longevity, but it does create a nice effect. Now, Cindersaur has been the subject of an interesting debate. There's a little bit of speculation as to what the toy's gender is actually supposed to be. The classic Cindersaur character has always been male. In fact, in the most recent comics, IDW comics, he's a male that's married to a female Transformer, so it's pretty solidly established that that's what he's classically been. Where the confusion comes in mainly is due to his character bios available on the different variations of his card. There is one card that explicitly names him as male, uses he pronouns. However, there's another card that explicitly uses she pronouns to describe the character. And there's been a lot of debate of what the intention is, which one is it supposed to be. I'm kind of the belief that the she is just either a typo or a carryover from the toy being Slash. And then the other thing that, might just lead people to think that this is a female Transformers just being remolded from Slash, who is a female. He does have rather feminine proportions, especially here in like the chest region there. Just does look a little more female than male based on human anatomy. And in fact, if I didn't know, who this character was supposed to be, I would just think it was some female Transformer. But until we get some sort of official word, it's all speculation. I'll just, by default, refer to Cindersaur as he, because that's what I'm used to for the character. But if Hasbro comes out and says otherwise, it doesn't make a big difference to me. Here's Cindersaur's character card. Just got him in his raptor mode, looking pretty vicious, like he's charging towards something. Shooting a little fire breath or something out of his mouth there. It's actually one thing I've noticed, common theme with these the Beast Transformers is in their artwork, they're almost always shooting something out of their mouths. It's not very original, but it looks good. And this is the Micronus variant. So you can see on the back here, Micronus Cindersaur. Power links to share his fusion-powered flame breath. So, this is the one I was talking about, the his, right? Next up, we have Outback. And you can see Outback is clearly designed to be some sort of a Jeep sport vehicle, just like the classic toy was. It's got the little spare tire on the top here. It's got like the reinforced grille, headlights. Unfortunately, the headlights are painted the same brown as the rest of that, so that's a shame. But the rest of the paint details are very, very nice. Got a lot of silver and brown here, black windshields. Tires black, obviously. A little bit of black on the hood. Looks good. Got an Autobot Tampo right there, which I like. Looks nice and clean. And yeah, doesn't do anything too special. It is just a car. It rolls. About all it does. One thing that's actually really neat is this top part here that has the tire on it detaches for transformation to become a shield for the robot. But what's great is if that comes off, it still looks mostly like a complete vehicle. They have like little molded details here. And they apparently did that so that if, kid or whoever loses this piece, they don't have some incomplete looking vehicle just laying around, kind of reminding them of their utter failure. Looks good, really, in either configuration. Here we have Outback next to Brawn, just so you can see the two of them together. And, they have numerous deco differences as far as where the paint's applied. You know, Braun's got his Autobot symbol right there on the hood. And, you know, when you look at Braun, you think military vehicle, some sort of army vehicle, right? Outback's more of just like some sort of desert vehicle. But yeah, they look good together. It doesn't make you feel like, oh God, why am I buying the same toy twice? You know, they're different enough to where I don't mind having both of these in my collection at the same time. So Outback's little Prime Master feature is that the top opens up here. It's got a little seating for Prime Master. So here's our Skull Grin again, our Liege Maximo. Just kind of set him in there. You just close it up. Now, one thing I've noticed is that with this guy in here, this doesn't close very well. His head's kind of in the way, seems like. But it's passable. Doesn't look too bad. Not something most people would notice there, just looking at it. And, you know, unlike a lot of the Prime Master gimmicks with these little vehicles, it actually looks like he's driving this thing rather than just like sitting on top of it or something silly. You don't have to bend his knees backwards to get him in there either, so that's good. Here's Outback's robot mode. It's just a solid, stocky looking little guy. He's got very nice paint here on his fists, on his head. In fact, his whole head sculpt is just really nice. Lots of very sharp lines, very nice sculpted detail, pretty much covered in paint. Got blue visor that the way they painted it looks like it's actually a visor, like it's glass, so digging that. It's got this nice little tampograph right here on his stomach, which mimics the sticker of the original toy, so gives him a nice retro feel. And yeah, his proportions are very good. You know, he doesn't look awkward in any way. I think this is one of the best executed robot modes for the size class I've seen. You can see he's got the top of his vehicle acting as a shield on his left arm here, which is a little weird because normally with the instructions, it almost always has them attach, you know, weapons or accessories to their right hand or right arm. Transformers are almost universally right-handed according to depictions and toy instructions and stuff. So not sure why they went with this. Maybe they just imagined that, you know, he would hold a weapon in his main hand if he had one. That's why the shield's in the offhand, but I don't know. Here he is with Braun again, just so you can see the two. And just like with their vehicle modes, despite being of the same mold, these two do feel very different. You know, whether it's like the huge difference in, you know, brightness and darkness, color choices. You know, he's very bright, he's very darkly colored for the most part, except for their stomachs, which are like the inverse. I will say overall, I do like Outback's colors more. They just seem more natural. Braun, I find his big yellow stomach to be an eyesore against that really dark green backdrop. And I definitely find Outback's head sculpt more impressive. But that's just not because Braun's bad, it's just his head shape I've never found to be very interesting. Just round. Lastly, we have Outback's character card. It's got him running in, and it looks like he's maybe using his shield thing as a weapon, like a little 3-barreled gun, which I guess looking at it, it could be seen as that. So maybe that was the intention. Maybe it is more than just a shield. His colors, he looks a lot more orange in this artwork than his toy does. But overall, it does a good job of depicting, you know, the toy in an action scene. And he is, what is this, Nexus Prime one? No, Amalgamus. Sorry, Amalgamus Outback. He takes force that allow him to defy the law of gravity. So that's a fun power. Alright, and those are our two new Legends class figures. Like I said, this was going to be a pretty short review because there's just not a whole lot to cover. I do like both of these figures. I think Outback is definitely going to be the more highly sought of the two, just because he is a more classic character, more well-known toy compared to Cindersaur. And he actually looks like the character he's supposed to be, because the original Outback was a remold of the original Braun. So he looks perfect. He looks like a, you know, just direct update of his original toy. Cindersaur is going to be a harder sell because he's a very obscure character and he just looks nothing like the original Cindersaur. So it's going to turn off a lot of collectors that are looking for their, ideal Firecon there. But as far as being a bad toy, he's definitely not. I do, like I said, very much like his colors. And honestly, I like the way he looks in this new form compared to the old derpy Cindersaur robot mode. So I definitely don't mind having him in my collection. I do wish they would have maybe done some remolding on the Raptor head or something just to help differentiate him from Slash a little bit. Show his dragon monster roots a little more, because he looks nothing like, some fantastical monster. He just looks like a raptor. But yeah, let me know below what you think of these two. If you'd pick up one of them, both of them. I'm personally disappointed that there were only 2 new figures in this wave. You can really feel Power of the Primes winding down now. Beyond these guys, all I've got left for, main retail stuff is the leader class for this wave, the Prime Masters, and then there's going to be 1 figure in a Wave 4 Deluxe set. So, yeah, you could definitely feel this all coming to an end now. And it's a shame. It's ending a lot sooner than the other 2 chapters of the Prime Wars did. So it feels like they're kind of rushing us out the door there and making way for the new series. But, oh well. All right, but that's enough rambling out of me. I hope you did enjoy this video. Hope it's helped you decide whether or not these guys are worth picking up. Feel free to let me know if there's anything you guys want to see next as far as toy reviews, discussions. I know I haven't done a discussion video in a while just because time requirement on that is pretty high and I've been pretty busy in non-Transformers things. But yeah, definitely throw some ideas out there. Love to see what you guys are interested in, and maybe I can work toward that a little bit. But anyway, with all that said, I will see you all next time.